Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for the Sugar Basic Training webinar. My name is Stephen Mark, and I am a member of the CRM Solutions team at Alicom Business Solutions. Alicom Business Solutions is a SugarCRM Platinum partner, which means that we're authorized to sell, implement, and train Sugar Solutions. We have more than 15 years of CRM consulting experience, and we're located in Dallas, Texas, where we implement and support Sugar Solutions nationwide. We provide business technology services, including workflow and CRM consulting, software implementation, Sugar configurations, Sugar training, and of course, Sugar support services. In today's webinar, I'm going to teach you how to get started with Sugar. We'll start with the login page, and I'll show you a couple of features located on that page. And then we will go to the home page, which is your world via Sugar dashboards. And I'll teach you how to create and add dashlets to the home page. And then we'll look at the setup information, some online documentation, and selecting and displaying your modules. And of course, menu bar navigation. What does the menu bar mean? We'll explore, of course, the system links, your global search, the various module tabs that are available, and the quick create plus sign that's available on the screen. And finally, we'll look at system help at the bottom of the screen so that you know where you can get help anytime in Sugar. And then we'll also take time to demonstrate a sales cycle in Sugar, starting with the leads module. I'll show you how to get a lead into Sugar, and then we'll talk about when and why you would convert a lead into a company and a customer record, and we'll go through the sales cycle. We'll create some opportunities, track a customer service case, and manage contracts, and then I'll show you some Sugar reporting as well. So that is our plan for today. I'm going to go right now to the Sugar login screen. Your login screen won't look anything like this, but what I want to point out to you is here at the top is where you'll type in your organization's unique login for their version of Sugar. Then you'll have a blank space for your username and a space for your password. If you didn't know, Sugar is available out of the box in 26 languages. Now this does not change the information in the data fields, so all of the data will be in English or your native language, whatever is first. This simply changes all of the information in the Sugar labels. So all of your module names, for example, all of your record labels would be in the user's native language. Some people have multiple members of very diverse teams, and so this is a very, very nice feature in Sugar. Again, it's available in 26 languages. You must select the language you want to view your Sugar experience in before completing your login. Having said that, I'm going to go ahead and log in this morning, and I'm going to log in as the Vice President of Sales. And here I come to my opening screen dashboard, and you'll see that it kind of brings me an idea of what's going on across my team. As the VP of Sales, I want to see all of the opportunities by amount by sales rep. I am looking here at my value for the current quarter, what I have brought in. The rest of my team hasn't done much yet. But here I'm looking at accounts by type, by industry. And I'm going to wiggle these little components just to show you that they are completely portable and can be moved around on your dashboard. So not only can you configure the individual components or dashlets on your own dashboard, but you can create your own dashboard. And it's very easy to create your own dashboard in Sugar simply by clicking on the Create button here in the upper right-hand corner. Or if you select the down arrow key from the Sugar cube and click on the plus sign here, you can create your dashboard. I'm going to give this a title. We're going to call this New Dashboard. And you'll see it's given me a completely clean slate to work with. And I can select here if I want how many columns I want to add. So my first, I'm going to add a dashlet here that is called my Planned Activities Dashboard, or dashlet. There it is. So this is, and you'll notice it's only my items, and the filters are today, and I want to display 10 rows. And I can go ahead and save that. And now that brings up all of my planned activities on my dashboard. Now let me add another dashlet here, which is a history of my completed activities. And I can go ahead and add those items as well. Again, selecting only my items. And down below here, I can select 2 more dashlets, and I can go ahead and add a dashlet from a list. So let's say I want to see a list of my customers. I simply bring up the contacts, and I can save that. And then here, I could bring up a list of, and again, I want to do it from the list view. Let's bring up a list of my companies. So I can select that here. And you'll notice that the filter that I'm using is only my accounts. So I've selected only my contacts and only my accounts. And now I simply come up here to the right-hand side and I save that dashboard. And now I have a dashboard called New Dashboard. Anytime I want to come back to this dashboard in Sugar, all I have to do is click on the Sugar cube. If I click on the down arrow key, you can see here the new dashboard has been saved as one of my choices. So here I have a number of dashboards. I have an operations dashboard that I created for Jim, the sales manager. This dashboard actually pulls in charts and graphs from reports that have been written in Sugar. So here, for example, if I want to look at the Q4 pipeline, all I do is pull up the chart and the graph that's associated with that. And so that information is coming from a saved report. Any report in Sugar that has a chart or a graph attached to it, you can bring that chart or graph to your dashboard to deliver information about you or the team or your customers directly to your dashboard. And then you can save multiple dashboards to have those multiple views. I love the Sugar dashboards because they give a lot of flexibility to users as to how they want to set up their business. And the dashboard is really a metaphor for your desktop and how you want to get your work accomplished for the day. So you can actually start completing your tasks directly from the dashboard. Not only does it give you a visual interpretation, but by clicking on any of these links, you can go ahead and complete these activities and add them to a history of your completed activities. That's the dashboards in Sugar, and it is the home page screen that has your dashboard. Anytime you want to get back to your dashboard, click the Sugar cube. Now let's look at some of the other modules in Sugar. All across the top of this menu bar, and this menu bar, by the way, is available no matter what page you're on in Sugar. So all across the top of that menu bar and here down in the overflow bar, all of these are the modules that are available to you in Sugar. That just means that Sugar has a lot of horsepower and the ability to keep track of a lot of transactions that may happen between you and your customer. And I'll show you what you can do with these in just a moment. Over here, you have the universal search space in Sugar. So for example, if you want to find information, type in a word, and Sugar can search the entire database every one of these modules for the occurrence of that word. And so here you see we have a lead who has that name in their company. We have an account who has that name in their company. And we have 3 opportunities for Avery software. Now, if you're just looking for the company and you know that, you can come right up here, click the down arrow key, and just search in the module where you think the information is, and that will bring up that singular piece of information. This universal search bar gives you the opportunity to search through every module and every field in Sugar, including the fields that you or your system administrator may have created for your Sugar instance. So whatever fields are in Sugar, you can search for words in those fields through this search module. And then over here to the right of the search module, we have the user profile tab. And if the user clicks on the profile, you can very easily adjust the modules that are available to you in your view right from your own user profile. So for example, if you're only working in a few modules, let's say that you're a sales individual and you're working only in accounts and contacts, and of course you need access to your calendar, you can actually simplify your Sugar experience by going to your profile, clicking on Edit, Advanced, and here I can take all of these remaining modules and I can hide them from view, and I can save that. Now I have simplified my Sugar experience for this particular user, and they have access to the leads, the contacts, the accounts, and their calendar. So let me drive a little bit now with this refined view. You'll notice none of the other modules appear, but the horsepower of all of the other modules is still available. So let's go to the leads module. And in the leads module, when you click on the header, you bring up an entire list of all of your leads in the system. Now, leads in Sugar have very specific properties in that they are unqualified contacts. So as we get into this leads module, you'll see what I mean, and there are very specific things that you can do in the leads module, and all of those things have to do with qualifying the contact. So there are a number of ways you can get leads into the system. If you click on the down arrow key here, you'll notice that you can import leads into the system from a CSV file. You can create leads from a vCard. You can actually pull leads into the system from your website. So Sugar comes with a web to leads form, which allows you to put a contact form out on your website, and when people fill out the form, they actually create their own lead. And then, of course, there's the old-fashioned way of creating a lead. You just go to the plus sign. It brings up the tab that brings up a blank form. Now, one of the nice things about Sugar is you'll notice that this form presents itself in a very simplified way. Sugar allows your company to define what this business card view looks like, and it's generally the least amount of information required to get a lead into the system and be able to follow up with them. So here we have a first name, a last name, we have a company name we're looking for, also a couple of ways to follow up and get in touch with them, an email and a phone number. When you click Save, that's all the information you need to be able to follow up on this lead. You'll notice that there is a whole lot more information that you could capture, and if you're capturing it, that's great. But the whole idea with Sugar is that your information in the database will grow organically, and that everybody who touches the record will have information to add. So it's not like the old days where one person was responsible for putting all of the data into the system. Everybody who touches the record enriches the record, and Sugar's solution is to give you this business card view and then the ability to show more fields. Again, you can add as many user-defined fields as you want, as well as any user-defined drop-downs that you may have. So you don't have to use Sugar as it presents out of the box. These are all easily created fields by your own organization. When you click this Save button, that automatically puts a lead into the system, and I'm going to show you what that lead looks like. So here we have a record for a lead called Hilda Countess. You'll notice here we're looking at the business card view of Hilda's record. So we have two ways to contact her that are available from this screen, but we've also captured some additional information about the record. You'll also notice that in spite of the fact that you don't see up here across the top that email module, you can still email Hilda simply by clicking on her record, and this brings up her email in Sugar. You can compose the email and you can send it out. One of the things I really love about Sugar is that you can create an unlimited amount of email templates. So you'll notice I have one here for our 2015 catalog information. When I click Confirm, it automatically fills in the subject line. It automatically attaches the correct product catalog. And then here you'll see I've created a very nice merge letter that will include Hilda's first name and then has a brief text, and then will include the sender's name as well as the sender's signature file at the end of that email. You can save as many of these templates in Sugar as you want to send emails. Now, I mentioned to you that this leads module has very specific properties, and I want to just briefly go over what they are. You'll notice down here we have what are referred to in Sugar as SubPanels, and this is what you and your team can do with a lead. You can call people, you can set up meetings, you can have notes or tasks about those calls or meetings, you can set up an email campaign, or you can just send them an email. You'll notice all of these transactions are communication transactions, and they all have to do with qualifying the lead. So you'll notice I put an activity up here that's now overdue, which was a qualifying call. It's so easy to schedule tasks in Sugar. All you do is go to the nearest plus sign you want to plan an activity. Just come right here, click on the plus sign, and that allows you to schedule a meeting or log a call. I can come in here and I can log my call. I can type in some information up here into the screen. Here I can see where Sugar wants to schedule it. I can come down here and see that I have that time available on my calendar. I can set a pop-up reminder for that to be reminded, and I can go ahead and save that. And now you'll notice it automatically populated over here in my new lead qualify. There's my planned activity. And here in the subpanel, you're going to see my planned new lead qualify call. So these subpanels store a history of all of the information and transactions with any contact or company. And at any point where you want to look at that history in a chronological order, Sugar has what's called an activity stream. And if you click on that button, it will dump all of those activities out in chronological order. And it will allow you to interact with team members. So I could type @Jen. And I can add that now to the activity stream. And that message goes directly to Jen and gives her a quick way of going to Hilda's record, without you simply having to send her an email. Now, if you're on a sales call and you're out in the field, good news is you can bring up your Sugar Calendar on your mobile device. That could be an Android phone or an Apple. You simply click on your calendar, bring up your Sugar Calendar. It'll bring up a little phone icon. You can go ahead and actually this is an outbound call and this was planned, but you can go ahead and complete it. You can go ahead and qualify as a lead, and you can go ahead then and save that information, and that will update the information to the cloud. Now, at some point, your transactions with your lead are going to lead to them either being interested or you putting them maybe into a drip marketing campaign. You'll notice that completed call is no longer here now in planned activities, but it now shows up, new lead qualify in the history. And here in the sub-panel, I'm going to go ahead and put everything back into the modules. So here you'll notice in the call history, new lead qualified, the status has changed to held from planned. So these sub-panels are where you track all of the information. At some point, this lead is either going to bubble up and be someone you do business with, or you're going to put them on maybe a marketing campaign and just keep dripping information to them, and maybe they'll come around later. At any point, whatever point that is in your process, you'll want to convert the lead to a contact at a company. And so that is a very simple conversion process in Sugar. And what you see here in this screen is actually what we call a Sugar Wizard. And what that does is walk you through the process step by step so that, oh, there's our pop-up for the new lead call. So now you've seen what the pop-up looks like. Okay, and it takes you directly to that call when it pops up. I'm going to go back here to Hilda's record. We were in the process of showing you the conversion process. So all the wizard does is walk you through the process step by step, making sure that you don't drop any of the pieces and that all of the links are created. So it allows you to associate the contact, which is Hilda Countess. Click. You'll notice here now there's a check mark, and it allows you to associate her with the company. It's possible she's no longer with J&J Resources if she's been a lead for a long time. If she still is with J&J, all you need to do is confirm that. And then here is where you can link a new opportunity. And when you associate that opportunity, what you have done here is you have linked this opportunity to a record for Hilda. This is a customer record now at a company that she's linked to called J&J Resources. When you click Save and Convert, each of these things that has a check mark will have been linked together. So what does that look like? Well, let's go over here to the Accounts module. And let me click on one of my favorite accounts, which is CloudView Systems. And now things have changed, and they've changed for the better. You now have a company record, and at that company, you now have contacts who are associated with that company. And so now you're looking at a record that looks a lot like the leads record. Up here you have information. This is your data view. So there's that business card view, and there's the long form. And then down below that you have all of your subpanels. But now please notice you have not only the communication subpanels, your calls, your meetings, your notes, your emails, but you also have opportunities. You also have customer service cases, documents that you can attach, quotes that you can go ahead and create. So all of that now is available from the company view. So it's become much more transactional. If we go here to the contacts subpanel, this is where all of the contacts for the company reside. And then over here on the right-hand side, you have your familiar dashboards, which in this case, these dashlets pertain to metrics about this company. So these dashlets are aggregated information about all of your transactions with these 4 individuals at this company. And now I'm going to open up a people record, a contact record, a customer record, and here again you see that same familiar view. Here's that business card view. You have all of the additional data available to you. You have all of these same transactional subpanels available to you. And of course on the right-hand side you have dashboards with dashlets that pertain to this single individual. So here's where you can plan your activities simply by clicking on the plus sign. Or you can click on any one of these plus signs to create an activity. It's a good CRM best practice that all of your transactions should be made at the people record level. So people generally make buying decisions, and you should link your transactions to the people who made the decision. They will automatically flow up and be linked to the company, but it's very important that you also link them to the person. So here you can see we have Betty's record up. I'm going to go ahead. We can see here meetings that have happened here. We can look at all of the transactions that have happened here with Betty. We also have the ability to view that entire activity stream by clicking on the activity stream window, and that shows us all of the activity that has gone on since Betty became a customer. And of course you can pack all of that back up. We have the ability to email Betty, of course, directly from the record and use any of the templates that we've created. So I promised you I'd walk you through a sales cycle in Sugar. We're at a people record, and this is where I want to create the opportunity. So I'm going to click here on the plus sign and show you how quickly we will add a new opportunity to Sugar. I'm going to call this opportunity Professional Services. And the reason I'm naming it that is that I have a database of products and services that fall into this category. So all I want to do is go ahead and select this as a professional services opportunity. You'll see here I have some duplicates. I'm going to go ahead, ignore, and save. And I get a Sugar message here that says I need to create a revenue line item. What does that mean? Well, if I click here on that opportunity, here's the professional services opportunity I just put in. You'll see here the status is new, and you'll see here that the dollar or revenue amount is 0. I want to give that a dollar value. So here's where I go to my product catalog, and I can go ahead and I can select here, let's do advanced training. And as I mentioned to you, I'm going to go ahead and change this sales stage now to the needs analysis. I want to include that on my forecast report. I'm going to go ahead and make this 4 hours, and I'm going to select advanced training from my product catalog. And so you'll notice it's put some pricing in. And I can go ahead and select an end date when I expect this to close. And I can go ahead now and save that. So you'll notice a couple of things have happened here. You get, of course, this confirmation across the top. But now if I look at this opportunity, here's professional services, I see it with that $40,000 amount attached to it, and it's linked right here to Betty's record. What happens if I go back to CloudView Systems? Well, here I am at CloudView Systems. These are my opportunities, and you'll notice right now the opportunity is at $80,000. I haven't refreshed this since we put Betty's opportunity in. So if I come in here now to refresh this entire screen, I want you to watch the dollar amount here and the opportunity metrics here, because that number is now going to change. I simply come here and click refresh, and now it takes that opportunity metric that I just put on the board for Betty, and as I mentioned to you, it's going to aggregate all of those upwards. So now here is 6 active opportunities, or 4 active opportunities, and now we have the metric here from $80,000 to $120,000. And if I go down here now to the opportunities, here is the opportunity metric that has been added for the additional $40,000. Now the very same thing is true of customer service cases. If you have a customer and they have a customer issue, again, do it from the people record and come down to their customer service cases subpanel. You can click the plus sign, and this will bring up a form for a new customer service case. So if the customer has ordered something from you and they did not receive the order, you can select a status here, you can select a priority, you can escalate it, or you can assign it to other members of your team for follow-up. And if I go ahead and just save that now, I'm going to go ahead and just set an escalation level. What happens is that at the contact level, so here we are, it's still in Betty's record. If I come down here to the cases module and I open that module up, here is the package did not arrive. You'll notice it's given it a unique customer service number or a unique ticket ID so that you can follow up on this case. If I go back to CloudView Systems and I refresh this page, right now we have 10 customer service cases. We have 3 that are new, 1 that's assigned, 1 that's pending, and if I click the refresh button, this number is going to now update to 11 customer service cases, because all of your transactions that you do at the people level are going to flow up to the company record. So very, very quickly then, that is the basic navigation and a basic business cycle in Sugar. I promised before we were through I would take you to a brief introduction of reports, and I want to do that. And I'm going to do that again by illustrating to you how easy it is to determine what modules you're going to see when you log into Sugar. And so in order to show you the reports module, I need to make sure that all of the modules are back in place. And now here all of the modules have been restored. Here's my Sugar Reports module. And if I click on the main menu item in the module, this brings me to the screen where I can select my reports. There are actually about 24 reports that come out of the box with Sugar. You're looking at them here. If I want to select a specific report to run, I could, for example, go to the calls module. I could search for a report in that module, and this brings up all of the calls reports. So here I click on calls by team by user, and this is going to show me a graph of my sales teams. So here's the West Coast, the East Coast, and the global team. And then of course here at the end, it's going to give me all of the detailed summary information that I need. Here in this window, you can see that you're looking at a summary report, which columns it's going to report on, and which modules it's using. Also, in Sugar, you have the opportunity to share reports with members of your team. You can edit or copy those reports, and you can schedule those reports to run when you want them to run. So for example, if you've pulled a graphic chart to your desktop, that report will run based on the refresh rate that you've set. If you schedule reports, for example, like team meetings on Tuesday morning, you can send those reports to your team prior to the meeting. And finally, you can print your reports as PDFs. I'm going to show you another report that I like in Sugar. It is actually an opportunities report. So let's go to the reports module, and you'll notice here I have a report that's a favorite, opportunities expected to close by quarter. You can see here by the star next to it that it's a favorite. And here I have rather a generic title, so it doesn't say what kinds of opportunities, and it doesn't specify which quarter. What it does, however, is run a filter at the time you run your report that is flexible. So you can select the current fiscal quarter, new and in-progress opportunities, and you can see the results of that report. Or I could go back to a previous fiscal quarter, look at closed and won opportunities and opportunities that were new for that period, and I could apply an entirely different filter. And so here I am now looking at new opportunities that were expected to close in the previous fiscal quarter. I have none. So let's see if maybe I can look at all opportunities from the previous fiscal quarter and apply that filter. And you see I'm doing this all from the same report. So there is no additional information or report that needs to be written. You have a report that you can change the parameters of the report via these runtime filters to be able to view different periods of time and different statuses of opportunities without having to recreate a new report. I love this filter in Sugar and the capability to set those runtime filters. And creating reports in Sugar is an easy process because, again, there's a report wizard for that. So the wizard presents a step-by-step way for you to do things that don't seem intuitive in Sugar. So the first step of the wizard is to select your report type. I've selected a rows and columns report. The second step is to select the modules you want to report on. And now you'll notice the third step is to define your filters. Well, if you don't know what that means, there is a text box here that kind of explains the filter selection process. I've done this before, so of course I know what I can expect. I'm going to go ahead in this module. There's a date created field that I'm going to select, and I want it to be before today's date. And then the report I'm going to create is contacts by lead source. So the next field that I want to use as my filter is a lead source field. And so I go ahead and add that. And here is where you can add the runtime filter. So I want it to be one of the entire selection list of my drop-down list, and I want to select that as a runtime filter. Now it asks me, oh, I'm sorry, before and runtime filter. Oh, I need to make a selection there. So we'll also be looking at cold calls as the first result. And now if I go to the next step, it wants to know what columns I want to see in my report. Again, based on what we put into filters, I can go ahead and put my date created. Whoop. And I can go ahead and I can put my lead source. I want to see those two fields because those will validate whether I've done everything correctly. And then I want to see the enriched data. Who is this? What city are they in? So let's say primary city. And let's say, what state are they in? And just for example, there's a quick report. Sugar allows you actually to do all of your editing right here. So I can change my column to say city. I can change my column to say state. And I can actually change my column order. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to put date created at the end. And my final step is to save the report. So this is contacts by lead source. I'm going to save and run that report. And the first result I should expect here is people who the lead source is cold call, and there they are. So my report is running okay. I can try some of my other filters. There's the name. You'll notice the city and state have been cleaned up and the date created is at the end. So let's say you want to select a couple of other filters. Let's say I want to see people in those 3 categories for my report. You simply click on apply and it refreshes the report, and then I can go here and I can group that information together. And since I've created this as a rows and columns report, I could also export this list. So this could be a call list. I could use this call for multiple things. But that's how easy it is to use the reports module in Sugar and how easy it is to create your own report. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining me for today's webinar, brought to you by Alicom Business Solutions. Our contact information is available, and we hope you'll feel free to contact us for additional information, additional training, or additional discussion about your CRM solution. Have a great day.